Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of 52 Week Movie Challenge. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and we've got a fun show to talk about today. So, this is week 20, and for week 20, I had to do set during your favorite time period, and I chose, well, mid-90s. So 90s, the 90s was my favorite, and we'll get into that in a little bit. The year was released was 2018. The date challenge it completed was 5/16/22. Aspect ratio is 1.371. Running time is an hour and 25 minutes. Genre is comedy drama. It's rated R. It stars Sunny Suljic. I'm probably fucking that name up, so sorry, Sunny. Sunny Suljic. Catherine Waterston, Lucas Hedge, and Nikel Smith. And my rating is 4.5 stars. So we'll go into that. So it's directed and written by Jonah Hill, produced by Scott Rudin, music by Trent Reznor of 9 Inch Nails, and Atticus Ross, who I'm not sure if he's part of 9 Inch Nails as well, but the original music by them. Awards received was Blue Angel for Best Director, 2 Golden Trailer Awards, and NBR Award. Why did I choose this particular film? Because I heard it was good. Have you seen this movie before? Nope. And you'll see that a lot. Like, probably throughout this year, I'm mainly doing movies I haven't seen. So if I do a movie I have seen, it's probably because I'm tired and I don't want to watch something new. Otherwise, I will try my hardest to find something new that I haven't seen. Would I recommend this film? Why or why not? Fuck yes, I would. And I didn't put anything why, but I guess because it's great. Which character are you most able to identify with, connect with? I guess most likely Stevie, but maybe a little bit like Rubin. We'll get into each character. What best line or memorable quote? Fuck shit, that's dope. Were you surprised by the ending? What would I have done differently? Not surprised, but didn't really expect any of it. And we'll get into that later. Because this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you've seen the movie or haven't seen the movie, don't watch this review. Why is this your favorite time period? Because I grew up as a kid in the 90s. It brings me back to my childhood. How well did the film capture the feel of the period? Explained 100%. It felt like it was made in the 90s. Everything felt authentic and real. It felt like a real movie, like a real stuff happening. Anything else I like to add? Nope. See it on Showtime, the Showtime app. So, all right. So let's get into this. First of all, I had heard of this movie because I've been following Jonah Hill for a long time, and I absolutely love his, acting. So I was very interested in seeing him direct. I've known he was a writer. I think he wrote some stuff before he's directed this. A lot of comedies and a lot different. This is probably one of the most different stuff that I've ever seen him be a part of. Sort of reminded me of when, both of these actors did movies where they starred themselves, but Jonah Hill didn't even act in the movie, which I think was cool. The one thing I thought he did a fantastic job directing it. It felt, like I said, it felt real. It felt like all these kids actually were like the kids that they were or whatever, it just felt so fucking real. It had a little bit of a vibe of the kids, movie. So what he said he was inspired by was a little bit of kids, which he kind of wanted to do a different version of kids, which more concentrated on like the real aspects of the kids that skateboarded back in the mid 90s, because apparently Jonah Hill was a skateboarder, which I did not know. But he was a skateboarder back when he was a kid. And so this was sort of not autobiographical, because it there's some things that I don't think really happened to him, or whatever. But I think there was a lot of inspiration to what he dealt with. Things I could see was like there was an area where all the kids would hang out and skate and stuff, and the cops would come and just bust it up and everything. And that felt like uh you know it felt more real. Like, so when I was growing up in the 90s, and I'm only a year older than him, so like he and I were growing up at the same time, like if I was in eighth grade, he was in seventh, kind of thing. And so I never knew him, but he was in California doing this stuff, and he was Southern California, I believe, and I think he was in LA, like areas and stuff. So he sort of got to make LA feel like LA, feel like old, 90s LA. And I think for him that was a trip to go back there and see it the way that it was, and film it like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Uh I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. Um I felt awkward at times. Especially knowing that this boy was actually 13 that they cast. Usually you cast older actors to play like a 13-year-old, or whatever. But this kid was really 13. So when like he's getting hit on, or talks about fingering a girl who's obviously older, and in real life the girl was like 15 years older than him, like it was just a little, just kind of put me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I gave it 4.5. I would have gave it 5, but like that turned me off. And um, so back in the day, people would say certain words and certain things, like the N word was used a lot, and that was real. Like that was what those kids would have said. That's how they would have said it. I think uh you know I don't know, I'm surprised Spike Lee hasn't gone after Jonah Hill for that shit, but screw it, because he really did bring, sort of this realism of what these kids were like. And so each kid did a fantastic job. You have Rubin, who's the friend that kind of like introduces him to all the other guys. He's smoking at a young age, but he's just like, maybe, I don't know if he was like a year or two older or something, but he was like, he was trying to fit in with the older kids, um just like Stevie wanted to. Stevie really, I guess he wanted to feel, he was a shy kid who wanted to, he wanted to feel something. He wanted to have friends. And like the only thing I could only wonder about is like, why didn't he have any other friends before these kids? Like, I mean, who were his friends before? It didn't look like I don't know if he just moved or something, but it didn't feel that way. So I don't know if he would have had, if he never had friends or something. And he was sort of this really, really awkward kid. So maybe he never had friends. That might, you know, be understandable. Um, Anywho, he he meets Rubin. They become friends. Rubin introduces him to the other guys. There's a great scene. It's so fucking awkward, but it's really funny where they're just kind of, sort of bringing up things about the race, the different races. So there's like, a Hispanic person and a couple African American people and a white people, and they're all hanging out, and so they kind of bring up all the different race stuff. I'm trying to be as politically correct as I can be without, but this movie is not politically correct, which I think was refreshing to see, especially if you're going to be talking about the 90s, because the 90s is very politically incorrect, up the wazoo. So that made it feels, and I read somewhere that Jonah Hill wanted to have a scene where they talked about them using the words of like uh the bad words or something, or whatever, and why, why they should say these things, or why they're allowed to say these things, or whatever. And Scott Rudin, the producer, was just like, would this actually have happened? And Jonah Hill was like, no. And he was like, then don't do it, because that's just going to take away from the realism of the movie. And I think that was amazing to kind of hear. You don't really hear that usually from a producer. Producers are usually like, well, that sounds like a great scene, you should put that in there. So Scott really wanted this movie to be pretty good. um it had a decent budget, like 1.7 million, I believe, and it made like, I believe, $9 million internationally, like worldwide. So the fact that it made $8 million, or $7 million basically, was a pretty good chunk of change there. So good for them to make this movie, and I hope more people go and check it out, and it keeps going up, because I honestly felt really like I enjoyed it. I loved the characters. There was one. Remember, this is going to have some spoilers, so just get ready for that. One thing in particular that I really enjoyed was what's his name? Stevie um is talking to Rubin, and Rubin keeps saying he's going to be gay if he says thank you. And so later, um he's talking to Ray, the one of the good kids from the group, one of the older kids, and he was like, I want to say thank you, but I don't want to come off like gay or something. And he was like, why would you be gay if you thanked me? That's just common courtesy. And that scene right there just sort of shifts. That's where you sort of see that Reuben right there was A, giving him really terrible advice, and B, like, didn't know anything. He was just as sort of dumb as, Stevie. And I really love that scene. That scene, I think, made the movie. Jonah Hill wrote a really poignant scene without, it was sort of so subtle in a way that I feel like really kind of shift the tone of everything. When, he sort of becomes this out of control kid, drinking and, doing drugs, and, he's not just smoking cigarettes, now he's smoking pot, and, he's this, he's gotten through all this stuff, and he's kind of going through this phase in his life. And then they have this really terrible car accident, and Stevie's the only one who gets really hurt and everything, because I guess he's the smallest. He got really hurt, and he's in the hospital, and the mother comes in and sees all the kids are there waiting for him, even though the mother before I didn't talk about this, but the mother before had come in and yelled at all of them. And now she realizes like these are his true friends. These are his friends. These are the people that care about him. Even though they put him in this terrible situation, they care about him. They don't, you know. So I really liked it. I thought it was great. It was one of those movies where I think more people should see it. I know people put it on like their watch list and just haven't gotten around to it. It like I said, it's on Showtime, which isn't a very I don't know, like not an easy app to get. Not a lot of people have Showtime app, so I'm sure you can buy it or rent it from Amazon or buy the movie on DVD and Blu-ray. I definitely want to get it on Blu-ray someday. I really enjoyed it. I did not realize it was an A24 film, and Showtime has a ton of those. And so I will try to watch more of those through my 52 week movie challenge if I can. But all in all, I'm very happy about it. I think it's a wonderful movie, and I feel like more people should check it out and let us know what you guys think. If you didn't get a chance to see it or something, just let me know. But and also let me know what you think of the movie. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? As I said, I like to fuck shit. I really liked him. One of his inspirations was Sandlot, and I can see this as like fuck shit as the Yaya character. Yaya in Sandlot always says Yaya. In this one, he always says fuck shit. That's dope or whatever. So I think he was one of my favorite characters. So all in all, I think you guys should check it out if you haven't. If you have, let me know what you think. So, all right, moving on to what the next week's challenge 21, week 21, a film that has won best cinematography. All right, I'm guessing that's from the Oscars. You could say best cinematography for anything, but I'm gonna go with Oscar winning cinematography. We'll see what there's there. I don't even know offhand what I'm gonna pick. So we'll see. It might be a movie I've already seen, or it might be one that I haven't. I'm gonna try to find one I haven't watched. Those are more fun. Maybe it'd be another A24 because, like I said, there's a ton of them that A24 has put out. So on Showtime. So I do want to check them out. All right. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Join me next week for another week of the 52 week movie challenge. Bye.